So let's take a quick look at how to use the cash flow register with your BA2 Plus. The cash flow register right here is the CF button. Press that, and what we're going to do is put in our cash flows, and they don't have to be, it doesn't have to be an annuity like with the typical time value of money keys. We can have different cash flows at different times. We need to identify the cash flows and the timing of those cash flows for our calculator, and then we can solve for net present value, the present value of those cash flows, and also internal rate of return. So first thing here, I've turned mine on. I've got the cash flow at time 0. That's the 0 subscript there. I've got some numbers in there. They don't match up with this problem. I have some other numbers in there. Well, I could go through and just type over all these as we work our way through. Another alternative is to press the second button, and then down here the bottom left, the clear button above that is clear work. So now that's cleared out everything in here. Everything's back to 0. So what we want to do is imagine that we have these cash flows on a timeline, and looking at the particular problem I've got here, your 8-year-old child's going to start college in exactly 10 years. You're going to make cash flow payments beginning in 10 years. So nothing is happening today. I would put in 0 for the cash flow today. I already have that in there, but if I didn't, I would press 0 and then make sure you press the enter button. You need to see that equal sign or your number wasn't accepted. Now if you see on your screen there, you've got a plus and a minus, or a up and a down arrow. That means you can scroll up or down. I press the down arrow. I got to CO1, which is the cash flow at time 1. Well, in this problem, the cash flow in 1 year is actually just 0. It's already in there. That's the default, but I could do it again. Press 0 and enter. Now I could go through and put in 0 9 times for the cash flow at time 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Or since those cash flows are in a row, they have to be in a row so I can identify where they are for my calculator. Press the down arrow, and I've got F01. That's the frequency. How many of those $0 cash flows in this case are there in a row? And I'm just going to press 9 because there's 9 years where we do nothing, and then press enter. See the equal sign. I'm going to press the down arrow. My first payment will be $12,500. I'm going to press the enter button. Down arrow. 1 is the default for frequency. There's only one of those payments. I'm going to leave that. If I had 2 of those in a row, I would just press 2 and then enter. 15,000. Enter. Oops, I've got too many zeros. Enter. Press the down arrow. It's going to leave that as 1. Then 18,000. Enter. Going to leave that as 1, but again, if there were more of them in a row, I would change that. The down arrow button. Then 22,000. Enter. Now what I like to do is scroll through all of this info. There's nothing happening cash flow wise later on, and make sure again that everything is in there the way I planned. So if I scrolled back through here and saw one of these cash flows was missing, I'd fix that. But everything looks good. So press now the NPV button. So the cash flow register there just records all the cash flows. This NPV stands for net present value. All that does is finds the present values of all the cash flows and adds them up. And all you need to do to get that info is give your calculator a discount rate, which in this problem is 8%. So I'm just going to press 8. You don't put in 0.08. Your calculator is going to do that bit for you. Now I've got I and 8. If I scroll down here, that 8's not going to be in there. I need to make sure I press enter. And I scroll down, and then I've got NPV equals 0, but there's the word compute. So that means, hey, I need to compute. So I'm pressing the CPT button, and there's my answer, $27,461 if you round that up. One more thing, internal rate of return. If we want to find that for the cash flows we put in, well, this one is not going to have one because there was no outflow up front, but we'd press that and then press compute. This one would give us an error because we didn't have any outflows associated with this particular problem. That's just a quick bit to get you started on the cash flow register with the BA2+.